Tonight, on the world's most amazing videos, a race car skids into a crowd, and spectators get slammed. Plus, rescuers battle fire and ice to save a desperate man from a raging inferno. Then, a motorcycle stuntman overshoots the takeoff and lands in a bone-crushing crash. And a glider loses control on landing, and other pilots run for their lives. Later, off-road thrills turn to terror when a truck cartwheels off a ramp and bursts into flames. These are the incredible true life stories of people who face their most desperate hour and live to tell about it. Everything you are about to see is real. Real people, real danger, real excitement. Get ready to experience the thrill of a lifetime. You are about to witness the world's most amazing videos.
Carballino, Spain. Once a year, this narrow, winding road is a racetrack. Today, it's a slick one. And the close calls only rev up the crowd. A lime green racer speeds into the lead. And out of control. The driver goes into a skid. He broadsides the crowd. Terrified spectators can't run fast enough. One man is knocked over like a bowling pin. Then, the car smashes into many more. The view is even more horrifying from inside the car. A mass of battered bodies piles on the hood. Others rush to push the car off of those trapped beneath. When it's over, 7 people are seriously injured. Miraculously, everyone survives. They thought they had the best view of the race. They became part of the worst view of all. Boynton Beach, Florida. Police have pulled over a woman for speeding.
Sir, put your cigarette out, step out of the vehicle for me.
The officer gives her some simple instructions.
Put your phone down.
No, I'm calling somebody.
I'm gonna tell you one more time. Put your phone down.
The woman refuses to put down the cell phone.
Mark, the police pulled me over,
So the officer calls her bluff.
and he's telling me that he's gonna arrest me.
She's busted.
He's arresting me. Stop, don't touch me.
She still doesn't get the message.
Get out of the car now.
The officer pulls out his taser gun.
Don't touch me. The policeman, you gonna shoot me? He's got a gun and he's gonna shoot me.
Get out of the car now, or I'm going to tase you. Get out of the car now, or I'm gonna tase you. I'm gonna tell you one more time.
Tase me?
I'm gonna tell you one more time. Get out of the car.
He gives her one final warning.
I won't
Get out of the car, or I'm going to tase you.
The next street off the Secret.
She can hear him now.
Sir, put your cigarette out. Put your phone down.
The effects of 50,000 volts are only temporary.
We've been tased before. We know it's not that bad. So put your...
I don't care what you say. I've never been tased before.
When the woman recovers from the shock, the officers take her into custody. She's charged with speeding and driving with a suspended license.
Put your phone down.
No, I'm calling somebody.
Maybe next time she'll choose to cooperate. Los Alamos, California. Motorcycle riders perform for a video shoot. After a full day of stunts, it's time for the finale. A 220-foot jump. A perfect landing. But the director asks for another take. David Castillo revs up. But something's not right. David flies farther than ever. He overshoots the landing at 80 miles an hour. He comes down hard. The bike's front wheel smashes. The fork plows into the hard ground. Most of the skin is torn off one side of his body. His collarbone breaks. But somehow, incredibly, he's alive.
I remember seeing the ground go by as I was flipping, and I just kept reaching for the ground, trying to slow myself down. The ground was like concrete, though, so it didn't matter. I went headfirst into the ground.
David knows what went wrong. When he's directed to do that final jump, he makes a careless decision.
I was a quarter way down the path, and I figured, you know what, I'll just do it from here. It's, you know, I'll make up for the distance lost with just some changes in my body style and the gearing.
It's too late to correct his mistake.
As soon as my wheels were in the air, I could tell there was going to be a problem. For the first time in my whole life, thought, this is it, I'm going to die.
David still rides, but he keeps both wheels on the ground. For him, one death flight was enough.
I should have been dead. The height I was at, the speed I was going, everything considered, I was smiling when I went away in the helicopter.
Coming up, a kickboxing ref gets too close to the action, and he pays a punishing price. Later, a highway collision puts a moose in the passenger seat. But first, a snowmobiler attempts a backflip and gets speared in the skull. When the world's most amazing videos continues.
Heber City, Utah. Snowmobile pro Steve Medrano is unstoppable on the slopes. What the very best can do on skis, Steve does on a snowmobile. Now he's about to try something he's never even seen. A 360-degree backflip.
If I had pulled off this stunt, I would have been the first person to do a backflip on a snowmobile.
Steve revs his engine and speeds for the ramp.
But I hit the ramp a little bit too fast. It didn't get tucked right. I knew that everything was wrong.
A quarter-ton of machine crashes down on his head.
If you went out and laid on a snowbank, put on a helmet, have somebody drop a piano on your head, I guess that might be kind of similar.
Steve is torpedoed. His body is pummeled into the snow. All that stick out are his hands and feet. Friends arrive to find his helmet crushed, the snow soaked with blood.
They were really worried. They thought that I was dead for sure.
Steve has a severe head injury.
For quite a few days after the crash, I had problems even telling what was real and what wasn't. It took me probably a year and a half or 2 years before I fully recovered.
Even in his sleep, he replays those terrifying seconds when he was suspended between life and death.
I had pretty intense dreams where I would go through the sequence of losing control of the machine in the air, but over and over and over in my dreams just keep on falling off it and just falling.
Amazingly, Steve gets back on the snowmobile. But one stunt he won't be trying is the one that almost killed him.
I think that I'm really fortunate that I'm alive at all. I don't think I'll ever try a backflip on a snowmobile again. I don't really believe in tempting fate.
Bangkok, Thailand. Kickboxers battle it out in the ring. The referee stays up close to the action. He makes sure each kick and punch is clean. The fight is fast and furious. First, the boxer in the green is kicked to the canvas. He gets his revenge. The fighter comes up and scores a knockout. Watch again. The boxer in the red goes in for 2 kicks. The ref steps in to break it up and gets clocked. The ref takes his job seriously. Only tonight, he lets it go to his head. Leominster, Massachusetts. Emergency crews arrive at the scene of a car crash and can't believe their eyes.
We expected to see, an animal on the side of the road. We didn't expect to see what we saw when we got there. As we're approaching the vehicle, there's a moose sitting in the passenger seat with his head out the windshield.
For veteran Lieutenant Frank Masangeli, this is a first.
It's not every day you see a moose sitting in the car. I've never seen that.
The car's driver is okay and out of the car. She explains how a moose wound up riding shotgun.
The moose had to be somehow walking down the road, and she came up behind it. And when she hit the rear of the moose, it just slid across the hood of the car and right through the windshield into the passenger seat. Amazing.
But it's not as funny as it may appear. The giant moose is trapped, panicked, and dangerous.
If you approached the car or got too close to him, he would start to thrash.
Environmental police shoot the moose with a tranquilizer dart. This will prevent him from breaking a leg, which could be fatal. And it allows the rescue to begin.
We knew we were going to use the jaws of life to remove him. We were going to have to remove the roof of the car.
The car is cut into a convertible. Now it's a matter of removing a 600-pound animal.
A wrecker truck backed up to the driver's side and they put some harnesses underneath the moose, and they gently lifted it up.
The sleeping giant is lifted out.
No, we have to pull the car out of the way.
Another wrecker pulled the vehicle away, and we lowered him into the truck. We were hoping that the moose would be okay. We don't like to see anything get hurt.
The makeshift ambulance carries the moose to a refuge. He can sleep it off. And the Leominster Fire Department wakes up to a new legend. The night they arrived at a wreck to rescue a moose.
I knew this was going to be a unique moment because this just doesn't happen every day.
Up next, a glider goes on a violent frenzy and wipes out a wall of people. And a man terrorizes a loan office. Now the clerk fights for her life. And later, a building is engulfed in flames, forcing a rescue of fire and ice. When the world's most amazing videos returns.
Orem, Utah. Loan officer Angie Hirsch starts work on a Saturday morning.
Very quiet time. I had just opened the store, was getting ready for the day. Next thing I know, out of nowhere, someone is on top of me, knocking me, pushing me over, and pushing a gun into my face.
The 6'5" attacker jumps a counter and sticks a pistol in Angie's face.
And I knew from that point on that it was a life and death situation.
He brutally wrestles her to the floor safe.
Finally, he said, "Where's the money?" I said, "I need the keys, they're on the counter." He nervously reached up, grabbed the keys. From that point on, very carefully explained to him, okay, now I'm putting the key in the safe, I'm now punching the code, I'm now opening the safe, I'm reaching and I'm getting the money. And I hand him the bag of cash.
He's got the money. He wants something more.
He said, "Where's the bathroom?" I thought he was taking me down to the bathroom to rape me and then kill me.
Her life is in jeopardy. Angie must think fast.
I said, "If you take me down this hall, there are people down there who are going to get caught."
The gunman falls for it, but he proceeds with his plan to tie her up.
And I pushed the tape off my mouth, and it worked. And he kind of tried to put it back on my mouth or my eyes, and I'd push that away. And I'd squirm and I'd wiggle and tell him I'm scared and please don't hurt me. And it seemed to be getting him more frustrated and more scared.
Suddenly, the phone rings. And something incredible happens.
And it was my husband calling to check to see if I'd made it to work okay. He went over to the telephone and yanked it out of the wall. But of course, it didn't get yanked out of the wall, it just came unhooked. And so from that point on, my poor husband could hear everything that was going on.
All I could hear in her voice was her saying, "Please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me." It truly was the scariest moment of my life. She's all I have.
Cy doesn't need to hear any more.
I got on my cell phone and called 911 immediately and then basically took off to the store to try to help her.
The gunman's plan is falling apart.
And it was at that point the attacker, I think, was just unnerved to the point where he just picked up the money bag and took his gun and his duct tape and walked out.
Angie makes sure he's gone. Then she calls for help.
911 emergency. Yes, hi. I've just been robbed by a man. Okay, keep on the line with me. We've got an officer on the way. I want you to lock your front door. He was wearing a yellow sweatsuit. He was like okay, calm down and let's get information. They're going to come help you. I think he could possibly be one of our customers that I gave money to not too long ago.
While cops speed toward her, Angie does some police work of her own.
I knew I had seen the suspect before. He had actually come to our store 3 days earlier to get a loan, and at that time given us a lot of his personal information.
Angie frantically scours her customer database. When police arrive, she hands them the suspect's file.
They actually beat him back to his house.
Cy rushes in minutes later, overcome with relief.
When I saw her walk to me and give me a hug, that's all that I could have hoped for.
Angie kept her cool under fire. It probably saved her life.
Fear can be a good thing. Fear can make you think more clearly. Fear can help you focus, and that's what it did.
Scandinavia. An aircraft is coming in ahead of schedule at an airstrip for gliders. The ground crew hurries to clear the runway. There's not much time. And then, time runs out. The glider touches down, then swerves. It's terror on the tarmac. One person tumbles in its path. Another is slammed by the wing. And though it's on the ground, the glider isn't stopping. Others run from wings that spin like heavy blades. Finally, the plane is wrangled. The glider enthusiasts believed all the risks of powerless flight were in the air. Today, they discovered that it can be just as hazardous right here on Earth. Chicago, Illinois. Cold weather emergency. As temperatures plunge below -15, an abandoned building burns. Seeking shelter from the deadly cold, a group of homeless men had started a small fire on the 3rd floor. It quickly spreads out of control. Veteran firefighter Frank Cambria has never fought a fire this hot on such a cold night.
The smoke and fire of this building was so hot and so intense that companies had to be backed off because the apparatus were melting.
But they're battling fire and ice. It's so cold, the hose connections are frozen solid. A crewman grabs a blowtorch in a desperate effort to keep the water flowing. It works. Suddenly, Frank makes a terrifying discovery.
I just happened to look up towards the middle of the building, and I thought I saw a silhouette of a hand come out the window.
One of the homeless men is still trapped inside. To reach him, Frank has to climb onto the icy roof of an adjoining building.
I was going to wait for a ladder to be placed down there so I can climb down and climb back up safely. I just didn't think I had time. So I decided to descend. I slid down on my butt.
Frank gets to the window. He finds the terrified man covered in frost and soot. Firefighters have only seconds to get him down.
I'm thinking I can't get out of here fast enough. As soon as we got out on the roof, that whole 2nd floor came down.
It's a slow, treacherous descent. Frank is on the verge of collapse.
Going down the ladder, I was thinking, I am so tired that I hope somebody's there to help me down that ladder, because on the video you can see I'm just spent.
Never has Frank been so glad to be back on solid ground. This man tried to keep from freezing to death. He came close to burning alive.
Coming up, a rampaging bull swings and gores a helpless rider. And a BMX rider's high-flying stunt launches him face first into the pavement. Plus, a race car crashes and erupts in flames. Can the driver possibly get out in time? When the world's most amazing videos continues.
Looking to be the main event winner, moto number 1 is going to go to
Squim, Washington.
Jerome Cornelison leading the way.
Outside or inside, anywhere there's a track, Daredevil BMX rider Jerome Cornelison is always ready for a risk.
I've been riding BMX since I was 12 years old. What I like most about it is just catching big air, doing tricks, and just being as original as I can.
Jerome has planned a very big trick,
Jerome Cornelison.
but he's not going to try it on a racetrack. He wants a bigger thrill. Jerome is taking his act to the hard concrete of a park shared by bicycle daredevils and skateboarders.
Basically, what I was attempting to do was fly out of the bowl on my bike, clear the cement, and then land onto this dirt transition that was right over on the other side of the cement.
The jump is extremely dangerous. That's exactly why Jerome is giving it a try. He powers through the course to get speed. And then...
Break anything or just knock you out of yourself? Oh, his head's busted. His eye. Somebody call 911.
You okay, Jerome?
He's got a ride.
Lay down, Jerome. Lay down, lay down, lay down, lay down, lay down. Lay down, Jerome. Lay down, lay down. Bud. Come on. It's terrible. You okay, Jerome?
When I hit the ground, I was out. I mean, I was sounding like a wounded animal.
Helmet off.
But I don't remember any of it.
Hey, stop! You fucking idiot, Steven!
I knew that it was going wrong as soon as I caught air. I mean, it flipped me off my bike. I was in midair just thinking, oh, great. Laying horizontal 15 feet in the air, squirming around, doing whatever I could to try to land on my feet, but it didn't work.
Watch again. Jerome tries some freestyling through the bowl. The tricky moves break his concentration. He loses control and slams his face into the concrete. Jerome suffers cuts, a concussion, and a dislocated shoulder. He will ride again, but he is still haunted by his close call.
I could have easily died. In the simplest little fall, you could paralyze yourself, and so I consider myself pretty lucky.
Pelican Bay State Prison, California. Calm rules the exercise yard until one inmate launches a surprise attack. The attacker walks by the table, then strikes. A second man joins in the assault. The man runs for his life. And within seconds, the attackers hit the dirt. Corrections officers move in quickly. They help save the inmate's life, but he also saves himself. He's a big man, but he moves quickly. He spins and dodges. He avoids the sharpened shanks they swing at him. The would-be assassins toss their weapons, but they're caught on videotape. Each gets several years tacked onto his sentence. Only quick action by their intended victim saves them from the death penalty. For murder. Disaster strikes at a speedway in Sydney, Australia.
The light went green and off I took, and the car in front of me stalled. I had nowhere to go. I ran straight into the back of that car.
Paul Morris in the yellow car doesn't have time to stop. And neither does the racer behind him.
Paul Morris and Mark.
Paul's car is spun a full 360 degrees.
The car that hit me was doing about 120 mile an hour. It just felt like a bomb going off in the back of the car. And I just was in a lot of pain straight away.
The impact ruptures Paul's gas line.
Oh, whoa.
I hope he gets out of that in a hurry.
Yes, he's out of it. Good.
Flames from the other car race toward Paul.
Speed of that
Look, it's going over to Paul Morris's car.
Out of the car okay here?
Whoa, that's going to go.
The other driver escapes. Paul's stuck. And he can't move.
The amount of pain I felt, I really thought that, hey, I mightn't be able to walk out of this because I couldn't feel my legs, I couldn't feel my feet.
The speed of that
Look, it's going over to Paul Morris's
out of the
car.
car okay here?
Whoa, that's going to go.
Now he's engulfed in a fireball. If he doesn't get out soon, he's cooked.
I didn't want to attend my own barbecue, so somehow I got out of the car. I really don't know how.
The track crew sprays the flames as the injured racer stumbles to safety. Paul survives to race again. But this was the most important race of his life. And he never even reached the starting line.
I've seen less dramatic accidents as the one I was in, and people have been killed. It looked like my unlucky day, but the way I look at it, I was pretty lucky.
Coming up, when a four-wheeler floors it, he goes up in flames. And a one-ton bull whips a cowboy in a violent frenzy of terror. As the world's most amazing videos returns.
Beaver, Utah. Police prepare to blow out a fugitive driver's tires. He barrels over their spike strip, but he doesn't stop. Trooper David Barrett realizes it's going to take more than flat tires to end this chase.
The subject, as he was approaching that off-ramp, swerved right into the back of the deputy's car without slowing down, smashed into the back of the car, and proceeded to push that deputy up the ramp.
15, 10-15, you just ran out of deputy.
At that point, I made a decision that I needed to go take the subject out.
Take him out, Cody. Take him out. Take him out. Push him out. Push him out, Cody. Push him out. I got him, 115.
Trooper Barrett floors it. He rams the suspect's car. It takes 6 hits to run him off the road. And then...
This subject is smiling at me.
He looked right at me. We were probably 4 feet apart, window to window, and he was smiling ear to ear like he was enjoying it or like he thought the situation was funny.
The police have the smiling madman at gunpoint.
We got the dog, we got the dog. So let's use him if we need him. Hey, he's getting ready to go. He's ready to go. Watch out behind you.
But he takes off again. Now he's pinned in. A crowbar to the windshield.
Get your hands up, do it now.
But the suspect floors the engine.
Look out, guys, look out, look out, look out, look out!
He's still trying to get away. No one's smiling now. They take him down with a taser.
Get out of the car now! Get out of the car! Open the door! We got him taser! Get over there!
Once he was hit with the taser, that immediately incapacitated him, and we were able to very easily remove him from the car and place him in handcuffs at that point.
He's gone! He's gone! He's gone!
Finally, it's the end of the road.
He's in custody. Got him.
For a suspect to refuse to say surrender.
This subject is smiling at me.
Guerrero, Mexico. A bull nicknamed the Hurricane storms into the ring. Cowboy Joel Munoz is brutally bucked off. But his foot is stuck in the stirrup. The beast violently whips Joel. A wrangler tries to help. But the Hurricane is relentless. Joel's lifeless body is tossed like a rag doll, savagely slammed to the dirt, then gored by razor-sharp horns. The cowboy is carried away with a broken leg, a broken jaw, and several broken ribs. But one thing is still intact. The power of the Hurricane. Rialto, California. The annual Pre-Runners Jump Championship. The truck that jumps the farthest wins. One truck after another comes flying off the ramp. Chad Walton is up next, and he's going for a record.
I made a smaller jump that day. Everything was all right. I thought the truck was all right.
It's an ugly landing. The truck flips 4 times.
The impact was almost like hitting a wall at 70 miles an hour. When I was flipping over, felt like I was in a carnival ride where you're locked in that ride and it just sits there and spins and spins and spins.
Chad's nightmare ride is far from over. The truck erupts in flames, and Chad is trapped inside.
If the truck had exploded, I could have been burned bad with no fire suit on, only a helmet.
A friend braves the fire to pull Chad out.
I
think the reason everyone was clapping was because I was able to run out of the truck to safety. They were clapping because I was alive and safe.
In the end, Chad jumps 143 feet. He would have won the championship if it wasn't for the crash.
I wasn't disappointed. I was glad to be alive.
These are the amazing stories of people caught in life and death situations who made it out alive. Join us next time for more of the world's most amazing videos.